Hiya, I'm Phyyn, a soon-to-be successful writer and artist, and art is hard, and procrastinating is easy. One must suck up their insecurities and gain the self-discipline to progress, and everybody moves along in their own little way, and I can't really concretely tell you how to go, where to start, what to do, because even my mind to myself is like,
you ain't got the answer, Sway!
That's why about 2 years ago, I made a comic to teach myself how to draw, a webtoon called How Phyyn Draws, a webtoon that I shall be taking a lot more seriously as I actually progress through my gripes and fears of color. It's time to speedrun through the process. With my current skill level, I'll learn more from a project than a practice prompt. Plus, projects are the end goal as a comic creator. I have a fuck ton of ideas, and it's been a difficult decade of getting my shit together. But I think I have it mostly together now, so here's a quick overview of what I've drawn to help me get this far. I first had to figure out hand control and basic geometry, So I drew a bunch of lines and a bunch of shapes, looking at other people figure out the fundamentals, like the Draw-a-Box course in 30-day journeys of art, and a bunch of books where I got the idea to get over my gripes of perfectionism and whatnot with stress-free sketching, which I do daily now to get myself in the habit, because a schedule beats inspiration. I also traced a bunch of other people's drawings to get a better grasp of a line art and dynamic composition. I didn't save any of those because the 3-step method is a private practice, essentially drawing something from reference and then tracing the reference and then drawing it again without tracing it to see how far you've come and what specifically you failed on and need to improve upon. I also developed the problem of watching a shit ton of tutorials without actually doing the work in said tutorial and buying a bunch of books, which will get their own videos as I finish them. Art is hard, and art construction is something I slept on being a key foundational feature of art beginning. And that is why this week I'm practicing form and structure. Subscribe to see where that goes as I redo the fundamentals, get over my gripes with color, and make a bunch of stuff. But back to the topic at hand, one must become the avatar over the shapes that go into almost everything. And so after learning what brushes I like to use, how to hold the pencil, and a little bit more confidence in my line weight and line art skills, I went back into progressing how I draw people, with the goal of crafting at least 2,000 original characters, people, and creatures. More on that in another video. I did a lot of basic level anatomy studies, especially based on manga and anime, where I forgo shading, an error I shall not do again. I've drawn thousands of facial studies and many limbs, and I still have yet to find my particular way of crafting the human. But hundreds of atomically correct and incorrect sketches have been made of ears, noses, eyes, mouths, torsos, arms, legs, hands, feet, yada yada, so on and so forth. I've barely scratched the surface of animal studies though, and creature design. But my main focus are creatures I plan to craft stories around, like dragons, gods, and worms. So after many practice drawings, at some point I stopped drawing for fun and took a little mental hiatus. And never to do that, not burning out again. As I said, discipline is more important than motivation. And if I want to have an art career, I must treat it as one. But there should always be some fun to the creative craft. So I started drawing a bunch of fan arts, which is one way to get over my gripes with color and start incorporating more knowledge to crafting better art overall. But color is still one main thing I suck at. Besides backgrounds and architecture, the hardest thing I've ever had to draw, perspective, which I'll spend, an entire month on. Not this month, as I'm still going through the basics of fundamentals and stuff, which is, touching upon it, but I will dedicate a lot of time, as I did for drawing people, to drawing the world around them. And that's been a quick overview of the things I've drawn. Next video will be about the basic beginner The next video will be about the exercises that have advanced my skills the most, as I hone in on learning gestures, form, structure, contouring, and more to find the boldest art style, Hakuna Matata. You can see this and more on Webtoons and or my Patreon, both of which update weekly. The Patreon has more exclusive content that I can't post anywhere else.